I hope that the sharing of my story gives other people the courage to see the beauty in their own stories so that they can have that voice in the world.
I am becoming stronger and more confident as a woman.
I am becoming someone that I'm really proud of.
I am becoming a teacher.
I'm becoming a Lego expert.
I am becoming another Michelle Obama, actually.
I'm becoming me.
Becoming Michelle Obama. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. I think Frank Sinatra pops into mind. I did it my way when you read this woman's journey. She's so unconventional in everything that she does. Let's start with this, perhaps. Who is she and what does she represent to you, Ntokozo?
I think she represents being an unapologetically black woman. What I think that she really teaches us as black women or younger black women is that it's okay to have a story that maybe is a painful story, that maybe is a hard story that a lot of black women have, but then for you to take ownership of that and for you to decide what your next is and for you to actually not be dictated by others how you should live, which is something as black women we experience all the time. We're told how to dress, we're told how to act, we're told how far we can get in life. But Michelle Obama, what she means to me is giving me that courage to be unapologetically Ntokozo and go for what I want and not apologize for taking what I want. I think that's what she meant to me.
Yeah, and another thing is that, you know, she definitely shows you that you should not let other people define you or define your journey. So, Ndi, to you, what does Michelle Obama represent?
I think like for a lot of, especially now, because you know before apartheid, a lot of black women, when you thought of like that strong black woman, you thought of people like Winnie Mandela, Albertina Sisulu. So now, after apartheid, there was just this lull, and then the only people who were coming to mind were celebrities, you know, musicians, models. And then she came into the picture, and it was so refreshing to see somebody ordinary, you know, somebody who you could look at and be like, you know, my mom has characteristics like her, and you know, I don't mind ending up like that. And I think she did it in such a powerful way because it wasn't in your face. She wasn't trying to, you know, kind of push it onto you. She just, by being herself, she just showed everybody that it's okay to be you. It's okay to be like to make mistakes. And I think that that's what a lot of people, especially me, that's what I get from her.
It's okay to be
yes.
that permission to be yourself. What does this represent?
Exactly that. She is Michelle Obama, you know. She's got that silent confidence about her. But I think to sum up what they both said, I think she is that. She's managed to be herself. You know, it's funny because she's always been Michelle, you know. Even before Obama, she's always been Michelle, and I think that's what I appreciate about her, the fact that like you've got the rights as a woman, you've got the freedom as a woman to be you, to find yourself, to walk your path, to make your mistakes, you know, learn from your mistakes, and still maintain that confidence that, you know what, I got this. Yeah. You know, I got this, you know, I got this, and without even making a noise about it. She doesn't make a noise about the fact that she's got this, but you don't have to, you know, she doesn't stand and say to the world, I got this.
Yeah. In becoming who we become as full-grown human beings, it is very much shaped as well and influenced by our upbringing. And some of the characteristics, you know, that you find in terms of her upbringing, she was a focused young girl, organized, and she had such a great work ethic as well. Karabo, I'd like to touch on upbringing. Family background, we often say, is very important. How has your upbringing influenced who you have become?
Has done that a lot. You know, it's funny because we take that for granted, and especially like when you start to realize that now you're becoming a woman, you understand that, then you start to realize how much of an important role your upbringing has played. You know, like for instance, one of the things that I'm currently battling with, or that I've been battling with throughout my 20s, and I don't know, maybe for you ladies also it's been the same, is you've got that inner struggle between trying to keep a balance in finding who you are, finding your journey, finding your path, and living up to what your family, what the people who you care about the most, your mum, you know, like for me, for instance, my mom, what your family want you to be. you know. So there's that fight that you have. So it's that thing that like it plays a lot. It plays a huge role, you know, throughout your entire life. And I think especially for us as females, because you're brought up to live your life in a certain way, but somewhere along the line, life says to you, but I've got a different pathway for you, you know? I've got a different idea for you. And now you're stuck between pleasing those that you care about and pleasing you and putting you first, you know? So, yeah.
100%. There's always that struggle, and there's always that internal fight of having to live for yourself, but also keeping in mind that, you know, you're representing a whole clan. We've heard it all from our parents. Another thing, Sonti, that Michelle touches on is how racism hindered her political career in becoming a professional. What are some of the issues that you experienced where you were like, but no one told me about this part?
Yo, it's so many things, hey? Like, if I'm being honest, it's a lot. Because, you know, what happens is, especially when you get to varsity, right? Because, you know, like, your parents will tell you, go to school. Like, you know, once you're done with school, you can decide what you want to be, and then you follow that path. And then they kind of give you this framework that this is the key to success. Like, you know, follow this line. And then, like, you know, you'll get to varsity, and then you'll have people coming in as well, like, you know, telling you that this is how I did it. But what they don't tell you is that, like, there's so many kind of mistakes that you make along the way that nobody else makes. For instance, like, you know, I didn't expect, like, you know, they'll tell you racism is real, but I didn't expect that from black people as well. Well, it's not racism when it's black people, but you know how you get black people who don't want you to
black
succeed.
on black violence.
Exactly, like, you know, and woman on woman, like, you know, you're thinking, oh, you know what, I'll get to the office. She's a woman, like, she'll understand because she's black, you know, we're in this together. But really, it's not like that. It's just basically, you have to do what you have to do, and you have to do your best. You can't be like, you know what, I'm relying on Ntokozo to be there for me, to hold my hand, because at the end of the day, Ntokozo also has her own ambitions, and she also has her own journey that she needs to take. And sometimes it's painful when it happens like that, but I don't know, I think it teaches you to grow. And, you know, with racism as well, I think that with Michelle Obama, because I think of her age, it was more obvious that, like, you know what, we don't like you because you're black. But with us, it's subtle. It's like small things, like, you know, that, like, for instance, when you're in the media, yes, like, if you're in the media industry, like, you know, you'll be like, you know what, I really think that this is an important story to tell. And then, you know, you'll be in a room full of white people, and they're like, but I don't understand. Why is that important? And you're like, no, but when you're trying to explain that, like, the dynamics, that, like, you know, this is something that a lot of black people go through, and then they're like, no, man, it's just another day in South Africa. So it's that kind of thing. It's very, I think nowadays it's more hard because of the fact that it's not so obvious. It's subtle, where you have to teach white people that, you know what, you can't be like saying that, like, hey, this hairstyle, you black people change your hairstyles all the time. You speak so well. Like, you're not like the
so
others.
well-spoken.
You're not like the others. It's kind of offensive, and, you know, you can't be combative because, you know, some people really don't know. So I think that that's what
and I guess it's an educational journey as well, like having to take people along the journey with you. Those who are willing to come with, by the way, those who are not willing to come with, you can stay.
I hope that the sharing of my story gives other people the courage to see the beauty in their own stories so that they can have that voice in the world.